We have been crossing the continent looking for some of the best architecture in Australia. But now it's my turn to take you for a dip into Pittwater.
The design of the Avalon residence is complex, but it's designed to capture the spectacular views in one of Sydney's most beautiful settings.
We're in Pittwater, one of the most beautiful parts of Sydney, if not Australia. And I'm about to meet the architect who's created an extraordinary house that's had to work very hard to keep up with this incredible location. Mark, why are we coming down the driveway?
Jamie, I wanted to bring you into the house in the same way the owners will arrive in the house, because that's the important issue in this house. And on this site, with a difficult site and the steepness, to come down to this driveway and not make it an ugly thing, but make it part of the architecture was a really important part of the design.
I love the way you've dropped this house so you can't even see it from the street.
The important part was to be private and secluded, and this sense of this thing is just lost in the bush.
I mean, this is just an incredible view, isn't it?
Jamie, this is Pittwater. This is what this house is all about. If you want to travel up a hill in Pittwater, you go to a bay, you climb up the watercourse, and each rock gives you another aspect as you climb up the hill. Yep. This house is built exactly that way. Each level gives you a different perspective of Pittwater.
Yep, we're kind of floating 100 feet up above the water level, aren't we? Is that what the wing's for?
Yes, the wing is part of the graphic of the building. The building is about movement, and Pittwater is about movement, about boats, Halversons, flying boats, and the wing is an important part of that. But interestingly, I did a sketch of a wing over the front door in the original concept. And 2 weeks later, the client rings me excitedly and said, "I've found a DC3 for sale." So we flew out to Western New South Wales and ended up buying this wing that was lying in a paddock. We've had it restored, re-riveted by an old aircraft fitter. It's a great arrival, and it's a great sense of drama at the beginning of the house.
And, you know, when you arrive, you don't really know that we're sitting on 5 levels.
Yeah, the house goes through 5 levels, and this stair cascades down these levels through the rock to get you through the levels of the house. Yeah. But we do have a lift.
Of course. Well, she looks amazing.
So we've just entered the main living area, Jamie, and at this level, we really wanted to feel like you're on a boat moving down Pittwater.
Yeah, you can definitely see all the nautical references here. It's just stunning.
The curves and the flow, it may help you move through the space and also give you a sense of floating across the water.
It's not just about nautical, is it? It's about aeronautical.
It's about aeronautical and the sense of movement in air. The kitchen bench is a Spitfire wing. In the stairwell, the rate wall is a reference to the great Zeppelins of the 1930s, the viewing platform, which allows you to look to the courtyard. The windows and the view this way is like looking off an ocean liner.
Yeah. That is the biggest operable window I think I've ever seen. What is it, 10 foot by 10 foot? It's unbelievable.
It's 3 metres square, Jamie.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And there's 3 of them along here, which allows us to open up this entire space.
Yeah.
So this lounge room is actually outside on a deck.
You do really get that seamless transition to the reason you would build a house here, right? This gorgeous water view. And I'd imagine, you know, with all of the curves here, for the tradesmen, this must have been extremely difficult.
Jamie, there's not a parallel line in this house.
Yeah.
So the set out, the curves and the shape from the get-go caused issues with the building, but we had a fabulous group of tradesmen here that worked with those curves and celebrated them. You can see them in the space now, how well that's all come together.
You didn't make it easy for them, did you?
I didn't make it easy, but they enjoyed it and they enjoyed the challenge and they rose to it here. The stonemason was here for nearly 3 years.
I mean, you've made a few waves, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I like the flow and the curve, and I like a building that isn't static.
Yes.
There's a nice sense of excitement and movement through this building, which I think is really important.
Yes.
It's a big building. The way we've broken it down and the way it moves and flows, it has a sense of place, which I'm really proud of.
I mean, it could have been easy for you to just stick a glass box on the side of the hill and say, hey, this is it, right?
Absolutely, and that would have been a natural response to a view like this, was just to maximise it across every level. But instead, I think it's much more critical to curate the views in such a way that you treat Pittwater and you make people look at it in different aspects and views, and I think that's worked extremely well here.
Well, I think we can all agree that this truly was an ambitious project that's been carefully considered from top to bottom to ensure that it fitted perfectly into this incredible site. It's now become a landmark project for the area.